Okay.
Thanks, Clay.
Hi, everyone. We're being recorded now. I want to welcome you all to today's November 23rd, 2020 meeting of the Needham Cultural Council. Thanks for joining us. Can't believe it's already been another month since our last meeting, and I was calling that the election episode. And I wore my presidential fist bump sweatshirt for so much has happened in the last month. So this is the post-election episode. I'm going to read a little of our boring introduction so that everybody knows what the rules are. And then Julia Gould will do our roll call for us, make sure everyone's here and that we have a quorum. I'll try to read it fast so we keep the meeting not super long tonight. Okay. Good evening. This open meeting of the Needham Cultural Council is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public meetings, and as such, the governor's orders suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless public participation is required by law. So this meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Needham Cultural Council is convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website and identifying how the public may join in. So please note for the meeting, we're being recorded. It will be posted on YouTube at a later date. And some of the attendees are participating by video conference and some by teleconference. So people may not be able to see you at the moment. When you're introducing yourself, please raise your hand, press the raise your hand button if you'd like to speak and say your name prior to your introduction. So I think that's all the ground rules we need. And if there's a vote that needs to be taken, we'll have to do an official roll call for it. So with that, I'm going to give Julia a little roll call challenge and she can call everyone and make sure we're all here.
Great. Cathy, Nanda.
Present.
Bill Lustig.
Present.
Julia Gould, present. Sharon Breitbart.
Present.
Elizabeth Cook.
Present.
Berg. Not present. Monique Harrington. Not present. Yael Halpern.
Here. Present.
Betsy Mullane.
Present.
Anne McCaffrey. Not present. Heather Simmons. Present. And Joni Schockett.
Here.
And I think that's all we have for official members, right?
I'm not sure Heather and Joni are actually official yet, but we have Vala Muthukurapin too, she's here.
Yes, hi.
And we have a visiting guest, Samantha Hoff. So I think the four of them are here, but they're panelists and visiting members at the moment.
Great, perfect.
Nice. Is that a quorum, Julia? Do we have 50%?
2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Woo! It was close. Awesome. Thank you. And then we can move on to the approval of the past minutes. You should have received them via email. Did anybody have any questions about them? If not, someone can make a motion to approve them.
Approved.
So Betsy Mullane, I hear you saying you're going to make a motion to approve the minutes, both the September and October as written. And does anyone want to second that?
Second. Breitbart, second.
Okay. All those in favor, just say aye.
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 Anyone opposed or have some discussion? Great. Moving on. Gail, would you like to make a little bit of a treasury report? I think I'm not sure. was our meeting with Michelle. That was before the last meeting, so.
Yeah, so there's really not much to report, just that we filed on time and we're waiting for the grants. So that's my report.
We're on
It's
time.
so easy to be treasurer. Just anybody who wants it, it's all yours. So it's really easy, not much to do.
I do remember Yael saying she was interested in shadowing. Did you look at me like you thought you could get away with that?
Yeah, we'll actually connect up. Really, when I do the when we do the grant meeting after that, yeah, I'll Zoom with you and we can go through what I do.
And you can
Cathy
contact
does
me
with
with Yael if you've changed your mind at all on that one. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think she'll do a great job.
I know she will. She's fabulous. Okay, the next thing is the update on the MCC grant process. So it has been delayed again. December 14th is the new extended deadline. We've gotten that into the paper and on our website to announce. I also sent messages to our grantees that we wrote to originally to let them know that it has been extended. I did a little research. I found out that in the last 4 years, in 2016, we had 9 applications. Then we had 18 the next year, 30. Last year, I think we had 30, about 30 as well. So far, we have 10. I don't know if that's because the deadline has been moved. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Here, we
Hi.
miss you so much.
Yay.
Hey, thanks for coming. We just were giving an update about the number of grants we received so far. It's at 10. So we're hoping the deadline, the month deadline will help. Yeah, Elizabeth.
Question, Elizabeth Cook. I went on the site today and to the panel book, and everything is there from last year.
Mhm.
Where are these new grants?
There is a secret site that I can share with you that I found and was given access to for some that are pending and some that have been submitted.
Well,
Usually
I'm happy to wait, but when are they going to take down the panel book from last year?
That's a very good
Have the
question.
new ones.
Those panel books from years past are housed in the LCC toolkit for historical purposes. The new panel books will be out after the deadline ends. December 14th is the last day, and the panel book should be out between December 15th and January 3rd, which is why our next meeting has to be in January. And so when we are going to review the panel books, whenever they're released, I think most likely we're going to divvy them up via email because we're going to be canceling our December 28th meeting because there's a chance that we might not even have them by then. And because it's a very strange time of year to have a meeting anyways. Unless anybody is dying to meet. I don't think the meeting's necessary. We're going to meet, we've just decided January 25th, because that's the only date available. So over email, I will send you the panel books when they're ready. I will assign you which group that you're going to get to represent on our January 25th meeting. In the past, each person has gotten maybe 2 or 3 grants. They read it over. They can ask questions of the applicants. If you don't understand the grant fully, you're welcome to call them and say, hey, tell me more about your grant. You can also contact someone else on the council, myself or anyone else, if you have questions about what your grant is. And then on our January 25th meeting, you'll say, hey, this is the grant, and we'll all talk about it and we'll figure out if we want to fund it, if we don't want to fund it, and what amount that would be at if we have our amount by then.
So Charlie, I could ask you this later, but are new people going to be reviewing the panel books as well?
That's a very good question. I came on at this time of year when I first rolled on. So I was at the meetings, I could talk, but they're not allowed to vote unless they've been sworn in from the town clerk.
Okay, thank you.
Time to become an official member. So yes, that's basically the update on that. I sent everybody a link to a database of all the Needham organizations today. I want to make sure that we're reaching out to all the groups that we can. I want everyone to make sure that they're sending this information along to their contacts. We actually are going to be funded most likely at the same level as last year, 6,800. The state legislature set their budget. It was supposed to be 16.3 million the last time. It's up at 18.2 million right now, which is level funding. They've done an amazing job advocating for the arts. And so I think we're going to get the same amount, which hopefully we still get the same amount of grants that we've gotten in the past. I think a lot of the grantees think that this has to be project-based, but this year we're allowed to do operational support and to be a little bit more flexible with the money that we give and what it's for. It can be internal, it can be for virtual things. And so I want all of the groups to know that they can apply and that we can help them. So if you can reach out to all your contacts, make sure people know about the grants. And if you want to go over that list later in the next couple of days and you see that we've totally missed a group and need them, just email me, I'll make sure it gets to them. Okay, and let's see. So I think that's it on the MCC grant process. Did anybody have any other questions about that? Okay. Well, in terms of we actually might not get
Sorry,
our
Heather had a
number.
question. She raised her hand.
Oh, sorry, who is it?
Sorry.
Hey, Heather.
It's kind of a dumb question probably, but why are they called panel books? Panel,
You got me on that one.
but that's
I think it's because it's the book that we review as a panel.
Panel.
oh, okay, sorry.
Thank
So
you, Gail. That makes sense. Yeah, as a group, these are all the applications we're reviewing. It would make sense if it was grant application book or something.
It's
okay,
just a holdover legacy when they actually had a physical book.
Yeah, it is an online document. That is a very difficult document to scroll through, but Sharon's very good at getting data out of confusing subjects for me, so she probably will help us with that. Okay, next thing is the marketing committee report, which was a very exciting this week. So Julia and I met with Sandy Sincata, the support services contact at the town, as well as our PIO, Cynthia, Cindy Rodriguez did it. And we presented the website. We also showed them our logo. We walked them through making a case for this marketing plan and why we really would love to be able to have more of a visual web presence and why we need it in support of, getting larger audiences, connecting to the community. There was a lot of questions, a lot of pushback. Most of it included the fact that we are not technically employees to administer our own website, and that because we're appointed by the select board, the committees that are appointed by the select board don't have access to social media and website outside of the city's webpage. So we got upgraded to meet with a couple select board members and the town manager in 2 weeks. So on December 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, we'll be meeting with them to make a case. And we're putting together a crack team, and I need anybody to raise their hand who would like to join us. Julia is the marketing guru. Kristen and Gail have already helped weigh in on creating a presentation. We've decided that we need to go higher. This is our chance to educate the select board about what we do. There's a lot of different pieces to it. We want to do clarity of mission. We want to talk about our name. We want to talk about all the amazing projects we're doing and how we can support that with some web presence. So the first thing I wanted to talk about tonight was, I've noticed recently that there's been some confusion about the name, the Needham Cultural Council. So I would like to propose and have discussion right now on the idea of adding the word arts to our name. The Massachusetts Cultural Council, I don't know if you guys have a little bit of a history, but there's 329 local cultural councils in the state of Massachusetts. They were started by, as a woman actually decided that she wanted to raise money through a lottery to raise money for the arts. This lottery did well in the beginning, and then this lottery became megabucks that did so well that they had to stop using all that funding to the arts because there was too much funding. So that it was, and then it was a combination. It's a really interesting history, but I feel like maybe back then cultural was all encompassing and definitely included the arts. But now I feel like maybe it's a little bit confusing. Many of the progressive towns around here call themselves just arts councils, like the Medford Arts Council, the Somerville Arts Council, the Worcester Arts Council. And it really is up to us in the town what we want to call ourselves. The Massachusetts Cultural Council it doesn't matter to them. So I was wondering if we should add the name arts to our the Needham Arts and Cultural Council or somewhere in there. And was wondering what you guys all thought of that as part of our presentation to the select board. Does anybody want to raise their hand and tell me what their initial reactions to the clarity of purpose around that? Elizabeth Cook, I see you first.
I definitely support that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea too. I think that explicitly saying that gives it more information on what we're working towards as
Yeah.
purpose.
Well, I'm interested in your opinion because as the newer people came in, I've also interviewed another person recently, and I think people are drawn to it and actually don't know what that arts is involved. Did you? I mean, you might have been.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a little bit of doubt, but then I also have worked with some of you guys in the past, and I know all the different projects you worked on. So I knew that arts was part of it, but as someone coming in new, I think cultural definitely would mean something else, and maybe arts would be separate. So you're having that specified, I think, helps to clear
I
some
appreciate that.
confusion. Yeah.
Does anybody else want to add something? Hi, Heather. Go ahead. Oh, we can't hear you. You need to unmute. It's okay.
It feels like a little bit of a mouthful having the Cultural and Arts Council.
Yeah.
You probably have to go slowly with them, though. I don't know if they're resistant to a website. Maybe you have to go slowly. But Needham Arts Council sounds great. That would be my preference, but I don't know if you can do that.
To drop culture completely and keep it Needham Arts Council.
Yeah, because Needham Cultural Arts Council, it's a lot.
Arts and culture.
And Needham Arts Council, it's just like arts, it can be performing arts, fine arts,
Yeah.
public arts. It like, I don't think, like, if you have arts, I guess my question is, if you drop the cultural, is it leaving anything out?
Sharon, what do you think about that? I see you with your
I think
hand.
it does. Because I think there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we can fund that is beyond the arts. So
Technically includes humanities and interpretive sciences, right?
correct.
Okay.
So I think that's why I wouldn't limit us to arts. I assume a name change has to be approved by the select board.
It would have to
Or-
be. I'm not actually sure how they came up with the name, or if we're chartered with that name. Yes, I assume it would be. It would have to be. Go ahead, Joni Schockett.
I like the idea of the Arts and Cultural Council because, as Sharon said, I think it more clearly expresses all that this organization can do. And if you suddenly change from the Cultural Council to the Arts Council, it may confuse people as to what the mission and what the activities are. So I think to include arts is a great thing to do because it does further explain that we do that also.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Gail. It's your turn.
I also think there's confusion because there's a Needham Fine Arts group. I don't even know what their actual
Needham
name
Art
is.
Association.
Yeah,
but
I think we just want to make sure we don't make it too close to their name, even though, because they're not a government committee, they're an independent group, so we want to make sure that we're distinguished from them.
Betsy.
I wonder, I really like keeping it shorter, Needham Arts, whatever. But often on these things, for clarity, the bottom line, which is smaller font and everything, goes into the cultural aspect of it. That's what I'm thinking would be great. Keep it short. And then you can explain it in the second line a little bit more clearer, like supporting culture, art, and something else in Needham.
Yeah, I think the problem that we're having is that people see Needham Cultural Council. I'm not sure if I shared this with you guys, but we got someone who was trying to give us the 4th grade classes letters. A teacher had their students write letters to us about wanting to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, which was really sweet, but probably that we were the wrong people for that. So, anybody else? Elizabeth, go ahead.
I just want to reinforce keeping cultural in it, arts and culture, because to change too radically, you've had 30 grants in the past 2 years, to suddenly have a different name might be confusing.
Yeah.
And also the selectmen would probably more prefer it that way.
So Kristen, go ahead.
I just like, if you're going to do it that way, I actually like the sound of Needham Council for Arts and Culture, because it doesn't sound like anything else that I can think of.
Yeah.
And it also sounds a little bit more like a town committee to me.
Oh, that's
So-
nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to make a motion that we suggest to change it to the Needham Council for Arts and Culture? Or does anybody else want to discuss it further?
I'll motion it.
Okay, Betsy, will you make a long motion for us? Because since this will be official, and then Julia can take a roll whether we approve it or not approve it.
What, I'm supposed to say my name? Betsy Mullane?
Yeah, and you say,
Calls the motion?
yeah. So you'd say, so I hear Betsy Mullane saying she'd like to make a motion that we change our name with select board approval to the gotta get it right. The council, the Needham Council for Arts and Culture.
Seconded, Sharon.
All right, so we'll do a roll call. Charly Nanda,
Yay.
Julia Gould, yay. Elizabeth Cook,
Yay.
Gail Lustig,
Yay.
Betsy and Sharon again. An official vote? No.
Yay.
Betsy Mullane. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, Al Halpern.
Yay.
And I think those are all of our official members.
That's great. That's really exciting. Thank you guys so much. I think that will do a step for clarity purpose, definitely. And then the marketing committee, I think, still consists of Julia, myself, Kristen was sort of on there, Yael, but if anybody else would like to join, please let us know. We're going to be putting a presentation together for this meeting, and Julia and I will be presenting, and we'll let you know what happens from that. Yeah, so that's a big deal for us. Okay, so the next order will be the update on the art box, which is really exciting too. We have good news. The third art box, we asked the Needham High School Senior Studios Department, and they said yes. So they are going to be doing an art box for us in this as part of their syllabus. They do mural project, and so it'll be in there. I think they're going to start in January. There's 2 teachers working on it right now, and one is on maternity leave and she'll be back. So they will be tying it into their syllabus and creating it in January for the spring to be set up. So they wanted a theme because, so we gave them the theme of climate change, and we gave them a couple ideas. We told them we're totally open to it, whatever they want to do. I think I still put the put a bird on it in there because, you know, I'm obsessed with the endangered bird idea, or Rosie the eagle. We also gave them some other ideas of like water scarcity, and I think the other one was nature versus nurture and the environment. So we'll see what they come up with. We offered them a little bit of money for supplies, but what the other amazing part is, I don't think they really will need it, but if they do, we don't need to fundraise any further because our budget will cover what we need for that. And yeah, that's awesome. So that will be the third box, and we'll get to really move on to whatever next exciting project we want to do. Which I think right now the only other update we have on the potential public art projects is still looking for a good spot for a mural. We spoke last time about an amazing spot that was in one of the buildings on Highland, and Cathy Friedberg, who's not here, I'm putting her in charge of like location scouting because she is like such a good detective at finding out who owns buildings. And so we're going to pursue looking at more locations for some sort of mural project. Kristen is amazingly putting together a proposal for us for the Asphalt Art Project, which is another mural project that we're interested in doing. That would be sort of a sidewalk, traffic safety, pedestrian calming / tribute memorial for the two women who passed away tragically in the traffic accident in front of the high school. So we also kind of started talking about that one in the community a little bit, and it seems to have garnered a lot of interest. So we'll put a working group together for that when the project starts to get its feet. What do you
Yes.
think, Kristen?
I was just a little inundated because I just did the musical at the high school, and but I'm good for the next few weeks, so I'll work on it.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
And if anybody else has any other mural leads, I spoke to someone who's going to submit an idea for a mural through our grants for the town. So, but we don't really have, I don't think was anything else in the pipeline at the moment. The other ones haven't really come up. Did anybody have any other potential public art projects they wanted to talk about at this point? Okay, so we'll just keep our ears open, see what happens. In terms of community art projects, one really exciting thing that Anne McCaffrey, who's not here, she's in an art class with her daughter right now. She proposed to us quickly a couple weeks ago to do, she included these beautiful little kids art cards in the Rotary Club is giving out 204 to 400 Thanksgiving meals on Thursday. They're donated. And so she reached out to us and asked if we knew any kids. Yael helped a bit to source some students. So we created these cards, and they're going in with these Thanksgiving dinners that were part of the Needham Rotary, the Needham Community Council, and the third group is like the Needham Golf Club is where they're making them. So it has a little of Needham Cultural Council artwork in there, AKA my son's hand traced in some feathers glued on. The other thing that's going in it, I don't know if you remember, we were the Needham 100-Day Challenge. This one's a mouthful too. So the Newton Needham Chamber of Commerce is doing the 100 Days Challenge. They're halfway through. It's a marketing thing to get people to shop local, dine local. And they wanted to do that mural project, which was not feasible. The mural project kind of turned into me designing some yard signs that would be a long movable sign. Apparently you can't put signs in the town of Needham very often. Lawn signs are okay, but larger signs are not really allowed. There's only a couple spots where you can put bannery signs. One's in front of Memorial Field and one's in front of the dump, I guess.
Yep. And the dump, you have to hang it on the fence.
On the fence there. But Paul Good is making that changeable gallery space. So who knows if maybe we can use that for something. But then it turned into a coloring contest with a page. You could color. And if you all want to color this piece of paper and submit it to Instagram, I will, or drop it off at the Needham General Store, I'll pick it up and put it in some of these Thanksgiving boxes. Guess how many people submitted it in the last month? 2 or 3, because there's not a lot of people taking coloring contests home and then returning it to area businesses. So there's a few of them that have happened. And we also took some of these and sent them out to some schools. So my son's school has them. So there was a little. Those are 2 little community projects the Needham Cultural Councils, or should I say the Needham Council of Arts and Culture, have put their names to recently. We'll see how that goes. So those are the 2 updates on that. Okay, I'm done talking for a moment. So I'm gonna hand it over to our new recruitment onboarding lead, Elizabeth Cook, has kindly volunteered to shepherd in all our new wonderful people. So Heather Simmons and Joni Schockett and Bala Muthukarapan, did I get that right? I think
almost.
I was going fast. Say it, Bala, say it for us.
Bala Muthukarapan. Just call me Bala, that's fine, don't worry.
So you guys have all met with the select board, yes?
Yes.
Heather, did you meet too with the select board and have your interview yet? No. I can't hear you. Unmute yourself or nod, really. That was a no. You haven't met with them yet?
I haven't yet. I wasn't able to that day, but she said she will contact me after Thanksgiving to do it.
Okay, great. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and you're on the docket. And then
What about Samantha?
Hold on one second with Samantha, but what did they tell you at that? Did they say, you'll hear from us, don't call us, we'll call you, or did they give you the documents and you're gonna move on?
No documents yet, but they sounded very positive and moving forward with next steps, and they said they will get in touch.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I think they have to send you an official, I know I got an official letter, like an actual paper letter.
You have
And
an
then you have
interview, and then it goes before the board, and the board has to appoint you, and then you can get the letter, and then you can do the really great training.
Yeah.
They said that that they won't be able to get to it till the next meeting, which is somewhere around the 9th, 10th or something of December, unless it's canceled, and then it's the 14th or 15th. So a while.
And then if you have questions about that, Elizabeth is a good point person for you to make sure that you get through that process. And then I want to make sure that everybody that gets onboarded also has access to we have a Needham Cultural Council Drive, and that has access, that's a bunch of documents that you have access to that will have logins for things. It's very unorganized, we need to work on it. It has some of our media lists, like that list I sent out earlier, that the list of the organizations, that's where that's housed. And the password, most importantly, to our local cultural council toolkit, which is the Mass Cultural Council site, has a ton of training stuff on there.
Yeah, so once they get officially signed on, then you'll also show up on the website as a voting member for the grant meeting.
Yeah. And then, and okay, so there's that. And then, hello, Samantha Hoff. Thank you for coming tonight. I wanted to introduce you because we had a lovely chat on the phone. Samantha has an amazing background, from Babson College to doing some ceramics work at Gorse Mills to having like a business background, thank goodness. And she's working with Parent Talk right now, and also is a yoga instructor. So she's a woman that's very well-rounded. And I just wanted you to introduce yourself and say hi to everyone. Did you want to tell us anything about yourself or what your interests are or anything you're thinking? Go for it.
You covered a lot. You're getting like the full tour of my home and seeing every room on their first meeting, but no, I can't really think of anything else. I grew up in Needham, and then I've only spent maybe like 3 or 4 years of my life, part of college, and then some time in Brookline out of Needham. I live back here with my husband and our 2 rescue dogs. And yeah.
Yay, Needham. Thank you for being here, Samantha. How did you find us? Because did you find us from that call that the town did again?
It was either on Instagram or Facebook that there was a post. That was how I found you guys.
Was it a post we did, you think, or something that was calling all committees and stuff?
I can't remember honestly, but yeah, I can't remember.
The town just recently did another big call, and that's where Samantha and Mamie and another candidate who, after speaking with her, we found out it wasn't the right organization for her. But that's where this round of more interest has come from, which is really exciting. I think that will also be part of our story to the select board, is that we have a lot of energy. We're probably going to be close to 15 soon, so that's really cool.
Charly, Samantha on the list to have an interview?
So she has to, she submitted the committee interest form. I hadn't met her. She just found us on her own. And so then Sandy sent her our way, because you have to attend a cultural council meeting before you're allowed access to an interview with the select board. So that will be the next part of the process. So you'll be moving on to the next round. Congratulations, I guess. And good luck with your select board meeting. I'm sure Joni and Heather or Bala can give you some advice, or Joni and Bala can give you advice about that meeting.
I know mine was like 5 minutes when I did mine.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was probably 10, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're super
we ended
friendly
up talking about the history of Needham than anything else, but it was 10 minutes and that was it.
No,
I think they just want to make sure you don't have 2 heads and 3 eyes or something. It didn't.
Well, you have to be a real person, and they have to confirm that you live in Needham. I think those are the things,
yeah.
and they have to formally meet you in
Right,
person.
right.
Those are the only things, like, they haven't turned anybody down yet.
At the end of my meeting, they actually asked if I was interested in joining the town meeting. So I think sometimes they try to place you in different places. And
I got asked
everybody.
I got asked that also about town meeting.
yeah, they tried to steal you.
I said no. I didn't. This is a good place for my interests and my time commitment.
Yay. Well,
besides, the next thing on town meeting is fighting more about the Muzzy property, probably.
Oh yeah.
Again, I want to do that.
Well, you can definitely make your voice heard in a lot of other ways with the town, I think. And so in our next order of business after that is Bala has also stepped forward, and she's going to be our advocacy lead, because we need a little advocacy. So I'm so excited. Thank you, Bala, for stepping up. She attended one of the Mass Creative Updates. Want to tell everybody what that is? Maybe that can be your best way to give us a little snippet.
Sure. Yeah, I'm excited to participate and help out. And it's exciting to hear about all the new projects that are coming up. So excited to work on that as well. But for the update, so we have a new 10 million grant program providing state cultural organizations COVID relief. So the Mass Cultural Council, in partnership with the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development, has launched the Cultural Organization Economic Recovery Grant Program. So this offers grant assistance to Massachusetts nonprofit cultural organizations that have been negatively impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. So this new 10 million initiative is part of the Baker-Polito administration's economic recovery plan. So of the 10 million, 2 million will be dedicated to supporting small cultural nonprofits in alignment with the year 20 COVID supplement budget. So that's like the high level overview. Yeah, so that's great.
What's the deadline on that? It's fast, right? I think it's like December 11th.
Yeah, December 11th. Yep, that is correct.
But they just
Friday.
announced that really in the last couple of days. So if we need to get the word out on it, or if there's any groups that need to find out about it. They need to apply quickly to get that funding. It's like what, like 2 weeks?
That is, yes, that is coming up soon. That's great news, whatever we can get.
And it's great news we have you, Bala, doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure I'll have questions on, as I onboard. So if anyone of you have done this before for this position, let me know. I'm happy to
Mass
learn.
Creative, I introduced Bala to, they do an update every other Friday. It's like 15 minutes long, and it's like the most informative update I've gotten. Like in terms of like even like the federal election, I learned more. And obviously, and the state election. And I just heard that the transition plan from our current president to our future president is onboarding today.
You can't talk about that kind of stuff in this meeting.
Recording.
Well, I'm just saying that this is happening, that it's happening. This is an advocacy update. It's not really about what my opinion is about it or not, but it's happening. It's happening. So that's part of the update. And then the last thing is scheduling. We're all done. Do you think we have to motion to cancel the December meeting, or we can just drop that one?
You can just cancel it because there's no specific business we need to address.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll cancel that. And then our next meeting, everybody pencil in January 25th. That's our most important meeting of the year for voting.
And I do believe that you have to be a member to attend the grant meeting, or is it open to the public? Kristen, do you remember?
To attend or just
That's a good question.
Because I mean, the whole idea is that the discussions stay in the room and it's brutally honest and all that stuff. So I would think that.
But we've always still posted it, so I don't know.
We posted after. Yeah,
a public record.
Julie, do you know the?
Yeah, before I was sworn in, I think I attended the grant meeting where we voted, but I didn't vote.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to know because obviously it's going to be broadcast on Zoom, and I don't think anybody cares. I mean, my only concern is if you're someone who applied for a grant.
Yeah, I would check that with Sandy, because I do think because you're discussing grants, it's one thing to do it and not be taped. It's another thing to have taping of it. So I would double check on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We would do that.
Because otherwise we can't really say why the person, we can't be honest, basically. We can't.
It'll make it a little bit more challenging. I agree. And
yeah, so if we could check that out, that would be great, because I think, we do follow our criteria very closely. I know we have in the past. And also if you recuse yourself, you have to like walk away. So we have to find a way to like text somebody and say, okay, you can come back if there's any grants that are, conflict of interest.
You could probably put them in a breakout room. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure
it's a webinar. We don't have breakout rooms.
Yeah, we don't.
No, we do in this Zoom though.
In this Zoom?
We can ask Clay.
Yeah, Clay may be able
In a
to.
webinar, you don't.
You don't have breakout rooms in webinars.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, that would be
But
good.
we're not in
I'll
a webinar. The outside world is in a webinar. We're in a Zoom meeting.
Would you like to answer on that now, actually?
Yes,
Hey,
Clay.
thank you. The voice of reason. Hi.
I can place people in a holding room.
Okay.
So you don't
if needed.
saying you're not an attendee, you're just kind of off on an island, and then it removes you. So if that's what you want to do, then I'll be sure to be monitoring that meeting as needed.
Okay. I mean, so far I haven't seen any conflicts, but they could crop up.
Okay. Well, that's really helpful. Thank you so much, Clay.
Thank you, Clay.
And on that note, as we're exiting, this was the article that was in the paper about our extension. If anybody notices what's strange about this article, it says community council proposals deadline. So good reason to have some more name clarity, I feel like, because there is a Needham Community Council and it's not us. Thank you all for coming. Does anybody have any final words they want to say? I really miss seeing you all in person, and I hope you're happy and healthy for our last meeting of the year.
Great meeting, Charly.
Oh, good.
Charlie, you're rocking it.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right.
And have a nice
Happy
holiday.
Thanksgiving,
I'll
everybody.
be reaching out to all of
Stay
you.
healthy.
Everybody.
Stay healthy and
Happy
safe.
holidays. Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Yay,
Happy New
2021.
Yay.
Stay
Wow.
safe.
Thank
Wow.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.